Could make a statistic of the US, and you could make let's say a chart with two sides. One side has so many thousands of people, the other side has so many thousands of people. They're basically fighting each other, and there are deaths on either side. Sadly, of course, there is one side that has all the mortality, and the other side has also mortality, but that's more less pronounced. And a good example is of course the medical industry. You can basically calculate that the medical industry, if you compare it to government run, the overhead for medical insurance is 30%. If it's government run, it's 10%. So you know that 30% of all the money, or 20% of all the money that's made by the insurance companies, could be used theoretically or in practice to cure and prevent disease in the population. And because that of course is not being done, you know that many people die because that money is just not there for them, and because the insurance companies are fighting to not have to take care of people, to keep them uninsured, to keep their treatment dependent on lots of factors, which makes it possible for them to maximize their profit. You see, and it is a civil war in my opinion, because there are civilians, there are people in offices in the medical insurance companies, in the medical industry, in let's say the pharmaceutical industry, that are sitting in offices pretending that they're harmless people, but they are devising and motivating and funding policies that are murderous to other people, murderous in an unnecessary way, because the money is there, let's say the value in the economy is there in order to treat the people. And if you look at it from a wider perspective, and you know that the corporate interests now have full control of government, because they don't even need to be allied with any political party anymore. They can just directly fund people to be elected. So they can select a Sarah Palin or some sexy guy or girl to lie to the public, and they will have so much funds that it's really unavoidable and be so prominent in the media that they will be elected. It's just it's a no-brainer for them anymore. They don't have to work it. They don't have to think about how their policies of trying to make as much profit as possible fit in. So the war is really on now. It is really, there's no holding back anymore. And there's people in that system, in those corporations, that are now devising laws and policies that are murderous. So you have the pharmaceutical industry that tries to push through medicine that may not be safe, or that try to make medicine very expensive that might have been cheap because they're no longer patented. And you have of course you have insecticides like the atrazine debacle, but of course there's many other industrial companies that are polluting the hell out of the US and are killing people for profit, that are no longer it's no longer possible to oppose them, you know, because people are already taxed by the banking system so heavily that how can they even compete on that commercial stage? And that's the civil war, and people are really dying. And I think it would be quite interesting to start keeping track of how many people are actually dying unnecessarily in the US, and when is somebody going to respond?